Now, it's not just Diddy that's catching L's. The CEOs of these large companies like Abercrombie and Fitch. Now, I read this story a while ago. I actually had read the story of people that were detailing and documenting how these guys were getting these young guys because they were sassy, meaning that they are gay. Him and his partner allegedly has over a dozen victims that they trafficked. Let's get into it, and then I'll explain to you what I read from the articles, and then we're going to deep dive and give our opinion.
Tonight, the shocking arrest of the man who helped launch Abercrombie and Fitch to must-wear brand status. The accusers numbering more than a dozen. Their allegations horrifying. Here's ABC's senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky.
We're here today to announce the arrest and charging of 3 defendants.
It was a stunning announcement.
Former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, Michael Jeffries, Matthew Smith, and James Jacobson.
The former CEO of one of America's most celebrated brands, Abercrombie and Fitch, arrested along with his romantic partner and a business associate.
Their sex trafficking and prostitution enterprise lasted at least from the end of 2008 until early 2015.
So everybody was having freak offs. You're in the music industry, you're in the film industry, you're in the clothing industry, then you're going to get you some sassy people having some freak offs. Now, the question is, because we already know, because when they say his partner, you know what that is. So he had a male partner. And I'm going to go over some of the things that I read inside of the articles about what they would do and how they was operating. But everybody was having freak offs. Everybody, and this is why I tell people that, you know, in the debate that I was having the other day on Hardly Initiated, shout out to them boys on Hardly Initiated. In that debate, I told people, I said, listen, y'all keep looking for these people that got money. Money. Everybody wants somebody that got some money. Everybody willing to sell their soul for a couple dollars. Everybody willing to give a percentage of themselves. Money. I said, listen, I don't teach my daughter to look for a man with money. I teach my daughter to look for a man that believes in God and has good character, that is equally yoked. Meaning that they are both going in the same direction. I don't want my daughter to have a man. I want my daughter to have the man, similar to what her mother has in Anton, right? And so character means things. That means that how you get it is just as important as if you have it. It's not about power. It's not about influence. It's about doing the right thing. I personally, because I know, and see, thank God that I'm not broke, but I'd rather be broke and righteous, even though I think that poverty is demonic because it causes you to do things that you otherwise wouldn't have to do. I'd rather not have resources and be regular and have my righteousness and my booty hole, because I don't want nobody touching my booty hole, than being rich and demonic and a part of the industry. I don't want to be friends with everybody. I'm not interested in being friends with everybody. I almost believe that God has turned my heart against being industry peoples. And don't get me wrong, I got some really good friends, some really good celebrity friends, but they're really good people. And I'm not interested in networking in the same way that other people network. I don't need to go to the IT event. I am it when I arrive at whatever event that I go to. My fun is whatever it is that I'm a part of. I can have fun on a road trip, or I can have fun on a private plane. I can have fun at a bodega, or I can have a fun at a Michelin star restaurant and hotel. No matter where I'm at, I'm me. Don't matter if I got a regular t-shirt on that costs $5 or some shirt that costs $1,500. It don't matter. I bought it because I liked it, not because of the price. Now, thank God I don't have to start the budget in the same way because I've been through that. I've lived that. And so I work hard and now I'm rewarded as a result of it. But money don't make you a better person. It just gives you more access to do the things that you normally wouldn't have access to do. Let's see what they got into.
They spent millions of dollars on a massive infrastructure to support this operation and maintain its secrecy.
Jeffries, who stepped down from Abercrombie in 2014, is accused by law enforcement of using his power and wealth to traffic and sexually exploit more than a dozen young men around the world.
Look at that man. Look at this man. Look at the man at the bottom of the screen right here. Look at this man. That is the face of a demon. Demons is running all on him. Spirits is running all through him. At some point, your face started to get disfigured. That's not just old age. That comes from being the bottom. That's not just from old age. That comes from being the bottom.
Many of them aspiring models. The 16-count indictment includes charges of sex trafficking and prostitution. At the heart of the case, the allegations of 15 John Does.
So it's jaw-dropping and shocking in every twist and turn of this case. We've seen R. Kelly go down on similar charges, and in the Southern District of New York, Sean Combs is facing the exact same charges.
When I saw the charges come down, I said, perhaps this is a continuation of the reckoning that I think we are starting to see in this world of arts and entertainment moving forward.
The arrests are relief to those who have alleged in civil lawsuits they were victimized.
This, what feels like an evil villain, continued to use his power to harm a lot of people. And I don't think he feels bad about it.
To anyone who thinks they can exploit and coerce others by using the so-called casting couch system, this case should serve as a warning.
Jeffries and his romantic partner Matthew Smith were arrested in Palm Beach, Florida. Jeffries is now released on a $10 million bond while Smith remains detained. Their attorneys issued identical statements saying we will respond in detail to the allegations after the indictment is unsealed and when appropriate, but plan to do so in the courthouse, not the media. Jacobson was arrested in Wisconsin. He appeared in a Minnesota courtroom and was released on bail. His attorneys declined to comment. Court documents allege the length Jeffries, his partner Smith, and their business associate Jacobson used to lure young men to sex events around the globe, from New York to Europe and Morocco.
This indictment is that these three men would use the allure of a modeling career or being associated with Abercrombie and Fitch to seduce and also allegedly rape many of these men.
Prosecutors said the itineraries for some of the events made no mention of sex and instead resembled those often sent to models for photo shoots. Jacobson allegedly acted as a recruiter for Jeffries and Smith.
Jacobson engaged in, quote, tryouts with men across the world where he would typically pay them to engage in sex acts with him.
All right, so I'm going to have a little bit of a different of opinion. Difference of opinion. And I would like for you guys to let me know if I'm off. Okay? And the reason that I want to have a difference of opinion is because I want to look at this in truth. Was the Abercrombie and Fitch, or is the Abercrombie and Fitch conglomerate, him and his boyfriend, do I think that they're demonic? 100%. Do I think that they leveraged their power and influence and money to get some, to become the tops instead of the bottoms of guys that wanted to become models? 100%. Do I think that they're good people? 100%. I don't understand sex trafficking. I don't. It's an interesting concept, but it's such a broad stick. It reaches far and wide, because where we believe that something is wrong doesn't make it illegal. Everything that I read about these guys, because I studied it and I've been watching this whole case and I didn't want to report on it unless they got arrested. what I'm trying to figure out is, because I know in the court of public opinion, we want people thrown in jail and we want to get rid of people no matter what. All right? That's what we do. That's how we want to roll. But here's what I'm trying to understand. Because I disagree with you and I think that you're morally wrong, does that by default mean that you're doing something illegal? Because it's a difference if you're dealing with children. Now that's illegal and you should be thrown under the jail. But if you're a grown man and you 20 years old, are you just doing something morally wrong according to my belief system? Or are you doing something illegal? Because it seems like what's happening is that they're putting a blanket statement of what sex trafficking is on people based off of influence, power, and money, and not based off of people's individual decisions to do something or not do something for themselves. If you are grown, look, at 19, 20 years old, 21 years old, 22 years old, I don't care how much money you have. Ain't nobody in this world that can sit here and tell me, hey man, bust it open for a real one. Never, ever, under no circumstances. At what point do you have to take responsibility for yourself? And if that's the case, are we then now building a case or setting a precedence for men with money? Because, you know, they say, some women say men lead with money, or men with power have to be more careful with who they get into a relationship with, because it's easy to accuse them of being able to leverage their power and influence to convince you to do something that you didn't want to do. But you're grown. And in this case, these were grown men. So if they were underage, this is closed shut. Now, we can say that they nasty, we can say that they demonic, we can say that they don't have our belief system, but in the court of public opinion, that's much different, or maybe it's not much different than the court of law anymore, because it seems like people are leveraging power, money, and influence, which then is why I tell people that they need to develop the character and have big discipline, because you ain't trying to go to jail over it. We don't know if these dudes is telling the truth or not. These are accusations. These are people that's saying that something happens, but what evidence do we have to convict them? So what I'm asking myself when I see these things and I'm looking at the details, and the reasons why I like to read the court documents is because I'm trying to figure out, are they just nasty? Or is this sex trafficking? Can you sex traffic a grown man that gets on a plane himself, that don't have a gun to his head? I don't know. This is all new. I haven't been privy to understanding what freak offs are like in the industry, because I'm not a part of the industry. But let's continue.
The federal indictment alleges that prior to sex events, the John Does were physically groomed, including at times shaving men's genitals without advance notice.
What do you mean you shaving my genitals without advance notice? I don't care how much. Listen, advance notice is you saying, hey man, I'm about to shave it. No, you know what? Where the plane at? Put me on the plane right now. If you touch me, dog, it's gonna be war in this room. What do you mean? I didn't know that I was about to get my genitals shaved. What is, am I off? Hey, anybody in this chat right now, y'all let me know. Am I off in that you would pretty much figure out what's going on once they say, hey man, we got to put you through the test and we got to shave your genitals? What you mean you about to shave my genitals? Who's shaving them? Who? You? Man, if you don't get your hands up off me. At what point do we also say, hey man, you decided that you wanted to get on the casting couch? You knew what you was doing. You was trading in butt for influence and power and money and an opportunity to be in a magazine. Can't no man tell me that you go, man, what? Man, when I was 11, 12 years old, man, where the rocks at? Where the sticks at? Everybody going night-night tonight. At 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, you couldn't convince me. You telling me these grown men went in there and said, oh man, I needed advance notice that I was going to get my genitals shaved. Man, get the hell out of here, bro.
There were two things that stood out to me to the indictment. One, the network that was made and used to facilitate the sex trafficking, but also the use of drugs to induce erections so that people who could not or would not participate in sexual acts were forced to do so.
The defendants pressured the men to consume alcohol, Viagra, and muscle relaxants known as poppers during the sex events.
At the sex events, the indictment alleges staff controlled the entry and exit and directed men to wear costumes and use sex toys.
Never.
Prosecutors claim the victims were sometimes paid for attending the events and forced to sign non-disclosure agreements. It's a
forced to sign non-disclosure agreements. And you got to dress up with your butt out. So, okay, hey, man, CEO want to meet you. We got to get your genitals shaved, and you got to put on this latex suit. Have the butt part out, though. We cut the butt out of the back. So the whole latex suit, you're going to look like a gimp, right? But then we cut the butt out on the back, okay? And there's some Viagra over there, some alcohol, and sign this non-disclosure agreement. And we got some money for you, too. I'm confused. I am confused personally. Nobody in the world can pay me to force me to get the hell out of here, bro.
staggering fall for the once highly successful CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch.
Mike Jeffries expanded Abercrombie and Fitch from a small apparel store in the United States to a massive enterprise throughout the world.
Jeffries helped turn the brand into a cultural phenomenon.
In the mid to late 90s specifically, Abercrombie and Fitch was everywhere. It was very much giving coastal prep boy energy, very preppy, very country clubby, very much the moment.
Popular among teens, Abercrombie's marketing campaigns in commercials like these, selling sexy images of shirtless men and barely dressed women. Going viral before the word viral was part of the lexicon, and sparking controversy too.
The boundaries were absolutely pushed about what was socially acceptable at that time to get this attention. So what you saw in these advertisements a lot of times were a lack of clothing. It's a clothing brand, but you didn't see a lot of clothing.
The Abercrombie look immortalized in songs like LFO's 1999 hit Summer Girls.
I like girls that wear Abercrombie.
Come on, man.
In our music, to the way that people dress and the way that people acted.
Some of the models became Hollywood heavyweights: Channing Tatum, Ashton Kutcher, Jennifer Lawrence, Olivia Wilde, and Heidi Klum.
For an aspiring model.
So they wanted to be like their idols. Yeah, you want to be like Ashton Kutcher. You want to be like all of these people, okay? Wasn't that other guy just in Deadpool? What was the name of him?
And the way that people acted.
Some of the models.
Yeah, Channing Tatum. Wasn't he just in Deadpool? He just did, what did he do? Magic Mike or something like that? Didn't he just do a movie a couple years ago, Magic Mike? Look, I think that these people are nasty. And again, I think that they're demonic and it's wrong. It's morally wrong. But I'm trying to personally understand the line of where you cross into illegal versus morally compromised. Let me say it again for the people in the back. I'm trying to understand where you cross the line from it being illegal to being, or from it going from morally compromised into being illegal. That's what I'm trying to understand. If you are a grown man, at what point do you take responsibility for whether or not you put on some, in the name of the person, I just said it in the chat, your butt out, the buttless chaps. Hey man, put these blue jeans on, they just ain't got no butt in the back of it. What? What you mean my blue jeans ain't got no butt in the back of it? Start looking back like, it's cold back there. Don't worry about it. We're going to give you some money. There's some stuff over there on the table. Just walk in, but walk in backwards. mean? I'm confused. I'm personally confused. I know it may be some other people that may be just as confused as me, but I'm trying to understand where the line crosses. Is it just because you money, power, and influence? Because then we'll have some more clarity as guys get rich and they like assless chaps. All right?